Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars, welcome to another of my classic film reviews. Today's classic film review is for the 1986 action film Iron Eagle, a film that is directed by Sidney J. Furie and stars Lou Gossett Jr., Jason Gedrick, David Suchet and Tim Thomerson. Now, if you've followed the channel and you've seen that I have just been watching the Cobra Kai TV series, it should probably come as no surprise that this classic film review is going to follow fairly soon after, because it is referenced a number of times in that show, and I completely understand that. This for me was one of my favourite films of the 80s and one I used to watch consistently on VHS when I was a kid. It was riding the coattails of the success of Top Gun, and personally, out of the two, Iron Eagle is my favourite, even though obviously the quality isn't as good. But I always preferred Iron Eagle. I preferred the story here of Iron Eagle. And if you've never seen Iron Eagle, what is the story here? Well, it focuses on Jason Gedrick's character Doug, who is a teenager. His dad, played by Tim Thomerson, is a fighter pilot. Doug is wanting to be a fighter pilot. He's a very, very skilled pilot, and his father is shot down on a mission somewhere in the Middle East and taken prisoner, put on trial, and he's going to be murdered in a few days, hung by the evil David Suchet, who is once again playing the nondescript Middle Eastern bad guy, as he has done many times in movies, certainly early in his career. Doug isn't going to stand for that, so he gets his friends, and he lives on an Air Force base, a military Air Force base, so he gets his friends to try and get all the intelligence that he can, because they're all skilled in that way. Yes, I know. And then he goes to Louis Gossett Jr., Chappie, who is a retired pilot, and basically begs him to help try and put a mission together so that he and Chappie can fly over there and rescue his dad from the jaws of the evil David Suchet and his minions. So that's the story, really. I know it's unbelievable stuff. It does stretch the believability factor quite a lot, this film, but it doesn't change the fact that it is an incredibly entertaining film. Now, I rewatched this, and it's a few years since I've seen this to prepare for this review, and the first 25 minutes or so of this film are quite cringe-worthy. It's really 80s. There's a scene with Jason Gedrick's character Doug having this race with this nasty boy on the bike, the bully, and music playing everywhere. As you did in all the movies in the 80s, they all had the booming music. It was the done thing at the time. The high school dance with the cheesy dancing and all that kind of stuff, and it's pretty cringe inducing the first 20 minutes or so of this film, I'm not going to lie, but once it gets going, it doesn't let up, and it's very, very entertaining. And the real strength of this film is Louis Gossett Jr., who was riding high in the 80s playing characters like this. He did he win the Oscar, or was he nominated for the Oscar for An Officer and a Gentleman? I forget now. Please let me know in the comments if you can remember. I didn't research that. Really brilliant actor. I've always enjoyed him in pretty much everything he's ever done, and he's the highlight of this film. He carries this film with his performance. You totally buy into it because of Louis Gossett Jr. Taking Doug under his wing and putting this mission together and mentoring him, and he does it so well, Louis Gossett Jr. And because he buys into this film and he totally commits in his performance, it allows you to as well, and that is the real strength of this film. And the scene later on where, and this is going to be some spoilers here, where there's no point not having spoilers in a film that's this old, you know what I mean? When they go over to do this mission and they're flying over there together, and it's only really cockpit stuff that you see, obviously, and some obviously plane flying bits. And when you think that we've lost Chappie and he's gone down and you think he's dead, really hard hitting stuff. And he makes him put in this tape because Doug's young, he can only fly and do all these amazing stuff with his Walkman playing and stuff, you know, listening to Queen, One Vision and all that kind of stuff. So he puts his tape in, the message that Chappie leaves him saying, you know, I know I'm probably dead now, but this is what you need to do. He's still in the movie and he's still talking him through bits and pieces. And the elation that you feel when this rescue takes place and stuff like that, it is edge of the seat stuff. It is exciting. The plane sequences are done nicely. The explosions, the action are all done nicely. And David Suchet is the flip side, if you like, to the Louis Gossett Jr. coin. He hams it up massively as this bad guy. It's the same character you've seen him play many times. This arguably was the first time he did it. I could be wrong there, but he played similar characters later on in his career. But he hams it up. It's very pantomime villain that he plays here. You know, really cliched lines that you'll be like, "Ooh, did he just say that?" and all that kind of stuff. And Tim Thomerson, he's an 80s legend, really. You know what I mean? He plays the dad in the jail cell, and yeah, and you see him a couple of times in flashback scenes and things like that. It's just full on 80s action fun, this film, guys. Cheesy as hell, absolutely cheesy as hell, but some of the music in the film is just brilliant. Like I say, I mentioned One Vision, Queen. Brilliant, really, really good. They chose some great tracks for the movie. Like I say, the plane sequences are done really, really well. My only complaint really with this film is that they decided to make more, because I remember at the time being really excited for Iron Eagle 2, and then it came out, and again, spoilers here, guys, but I don't recommend you watch it. They killed off Jason Gedrick's character like in the first 5 minutes of that film, and I was fuming, absolutely fuming. So I hated Iron Eagle 2, and then they did another one, Iron Eagle 3, I think. They might have even done more, but I checked out by that point. But it doesn't change the fact that the first one is a huge amount of fun. Definitely of its time, but still very, very entertaining. So it's an 8 out of 10 for me. It does still stand up to this day. Obviously there are certain bits in it that will make you slap your face, but it is still cheesy fun, definitely. So that's my review for Iron Eagle. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I will be back with more content on Screen Stars very, very soon.